Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Definitive Skyrim Let's Play. This is episode 8, and last episode, we had just finished clearing Bleak Falls Barrow, and as you can see, we have the Dragonstone. So, we went there to collect the Golden Claw, but we continued through the dungeon, and using that claw, we stumbled upon a strange stone wall with a bunch of writing on it, some language we've never seen before. We fought a boss, and then we found the Dragonstone. So, starting off, after we do a little bit of studying, of course, we're going to head over to the Riverwood Trader and speak to Lucan and claim our reward for returning the Golden Claw. But, well, we're certainly gonna receive the reward first. I think after seeing what the claw is capable of, and seeing how incompetent those bandits really were, I think it's pretty apparent that Lucan is probably not the best person to hold on to the claw. So, we might just have to take it ourselves for safekeeping. Not only was Bleak Falls Barrow an experience that showed what Coemgin was capable of in terms of defending himself, he learned a lot about how to combat Draugr and presumably other undead. Learned quite a bit about Nordic ruins. That was the first time he ever was in a Nordic ruin. But also, it allowed him to see the worth in Nordic ruins. There was a lot of currency. There was a variety of hidden chests that had loot.
You found it! There it is! Strange. It seems small.
And it's apparent that this golden claw
Funny thing, huh?
might be useful in the future.
Back where it belongs. I'll never forget this. You've done a great thing for me and my
sister. Of course, we'll learn eventually that, well, other Nordic ruins certainly will have similar doors, puzzle doors. They will require a different claw.
A bit of this.
But Coemgin doesn't know that, so he's certainly thinking that if he's going to continue to explore ruins, that it's probably best to hold on to the claw. So far, Coemgin's main sources of income and notoriety and his main way of scavenging for supplies has been just exploring and finding bandit camps, little campsites. He's went into a mine, but that's the biggest dungeon he had gone into prior to Bleak Falls. So he's going to slowly start to see the appeal of some spelunking, some dungeon diving. Just need to spend some time selling all of the things we picked up from the bandits in the dungeon. So after we finish here, really there's not much left for us to do in Riverwood. We might do a one last quick run through the town, see if there's anything we missed. Might do some training with Faendal. But then we're pretty much good to head to Whiterun. Before we were given the task of finding the Golden Claw, we were instructed to head to Whiterun and inform the Jarl of the dragon attack. And we'll go ahead and do that. Coemgin feels it's generally the right thing to do, and it doesn't seem to be too much of a burden. We might as well head to Whiterun anyways. It's a capital of the hold. Should be plenty of opportunities for work. And Coemgin's also assuming that if he's giving valuable information to the Jarl, there will likely be a reward for that alone. So there's certainly many motivations to head to Whiterun. Not all of them altruistic. So now that we've finished selling everything to Lucan, we'll take a moment and help him clean up some of the clutter around his shop. See, if it was that easy to take it from him, he really doesn't want to keep it. So some of this stuff we were able to just take because our relationship is high enough now, since we completed that quest for him. Like our sneak is improved now. It's not very high, but it's a moderate level, but we're standing right next to him and he's oblivious. Coemgin generally will try not to steal from allies and friends, but unlike Elver, who really was very hospitable towards us and helped us out a lot right when we were starting off, Lucan hasn't done anything for us. He paid us, but we did something for him. So we don't have a sense of loyalty or anything to him. So we don't feel too bad about accepting some donations from him.
It means so much to us to have the claw back where it belongs. Thank you.
Yes, I think we can agree the claw is exactly where it belongs.
Take what... May the gods watch over your battles, friend. The finest weapons and armor.
So we're going to pick up that Know Your Armor book. And I'm pretty sure that that's part of Know Your Enemy, which I've mentioned before. It alters the inherent resistances and weaknesses of enemies, And it also has a part of it that affects armor and what armor is strong against and weak against. So I'm not sure if the book... I know there's a couple of different books included in the mod. That one you can find at blacksmiths. I think there's others that are hidden that you can find in dungeons. I'm not sure if it has an automatic effect, like it gives you bonuses, or if it just has some text to help explain what's weak to what, what's strong against what. So it'll be worth giving a quick read. So normally I like to hang on to silver and gold ingots because we can turn them into jewelry, which typically is worth more, but I don't think our smithing is actually high enough yet to craft jewelry. I think complete crafting overhaul adds some level requirements for jewelry. I think for silver you have to be like level 30 in smithing. So that's why we just sold the ingot. It was still worth a decent amount. Check real quick to see if there's any enchantments to learn. Gonna hang on to the Novice Mage Hood for a while. So I'm looking to see if I can find Faendal somewhere. Before we leave town, we might as well take some time to improve our archery a little bit with him. Right there.
I'll show you what I know.
And so I have a mod that alters training to where rather than have 5 opportunities to train per level, instead you can set it to whatever you want and you save whatever training sessions you don't use. So if you level up, rather than being only allowed to train 5 times, instead you get to train all the times saved up that you didn't use before. And then I've set it so that you get 3 sessions per level. So in theory, if you hit level 100, you would then have 300 opportunities to train at the end. And yeah, here you can see it's enabled, but for whatever reason, even though we've leveled up numerous times, it only showed us having 3 sessions. So I'm not sure if that's a display issue, if it needs to update somehow, or what. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Another part of this mod is after a certain number of sessions, so I have it set to 15, you gain a perk point. And this is kind of going on the idea that if you're training with somebody who's at least adept at the skill, maybe even an expert or master at the skill, they know a thing or two. They know some techniques that your average person won't know. So when you train with them, after a while, you might learn that technique, and that's essentially the equivalent of a perk point. So after 15 training sessions, you get a perk point. So if we use all 300 sessions by level 100, that would give us an extra 20 perk points. And so that seems like quite a few, but it would take a really long time and a lot of gold to actually train all 300 times. And even though Valkyrie isn't as large as Ordinator, it still has 275 total perk points, I believe. So since this is a 100% playthrough, one of our goals is to hit max level up all of our skills to max, and eventually get every perk. By the time we hit that level, those perks won't really be meaningful. We'll be strong enough that any encounter will be presumably pretty easy. But it's part of 100%ing. And it'll open up the opportunity so that towards the end of this playthrough, whenever that will be, we can decide we're going to go through this location because we haven't explored it before. Let's use a two-handed build. Or we can use a restoration one-handed build. So it can be some fun towards the end of the game when our main playthrough, or our main playstyle, has gotten a little stale. But for a majority of the game, up until probably level 50 or so at least, every perk point we get will be
an outsider, eh?
very consequential and impactful.
An order of warriors. We are brothers and sisters.
And we shouldn't run into any issues where we're just overflowing with perk points until pretty late on.
Not for me to say. You'll have to talk to Codlac Whitemane up in Jorvaskar. The old man's got a good sense for people. He can look in your eyes and tell your worth. If you go to him, good luck.
And so Coemgin definitely isn't your stereotypical warrior. And he's not particularly concerned with honor. Ayla did mention gold. Picking fights and completing jobs for coin. And that certainly interests Coemgin. So, while we won't do the Companion's quest line at the start, eventually, of course, we will, because it's 100%. But most likely, the thought process for Coemgin will be that it's another avenue to grow his wealth and influence. Possibly it could be a source of like a support system, depending on how things go. And while we were talking about that, we passed by and overheard some people talking about a strange character, a jester, having some issues with his wagon.
City's closed with the dragons about. Official business only. Fine. But we'll be keeping an eye on you.
And so that's actually a time-limited quest Not sure exactly how long you have the opportunity to do it, but essentially you have a few days to go and find Cicero stuck, and you can try to help him out. So we're going to do that at some point early on here.
I just can't fill an order. Size on my own. Why don't you swallow that stubborn pride of yours and ask Yorland Greymane for help?
I'd sooner bend my knee to Ulfric's Stormcloak. Besides, Greymane would never make steel for the Legion.
Have it your way. I'll take the job, but don't expect a miracle. Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. More inside.
I really do like this
That I do.
camera mod I'm
I
using.
hope to be as good as Yorland Greymane someday.
I think it really enhances
I
dialogue.
just finished my
It's had a
piece of-
habit of
I don't claim to
zooming
be best
in
blacksmith in Whiterun.
on
Yorland
objects in
Greymane's got
between
that honor. Man steel
myself
is a
and the
legendary.
person talking.
All I ask is a fair chance.
Makes things a little awkward.
Aye, that I do. It's a sword. I made it for the Jarl, Balgroof the Greater. It's a surprise. I don't even know if he'll accept it, but... Listen, could you take the sword to my father, Proventus Avenici? He's the Jarl's steward. He'll know the right time to present it to him.
Well, what a coincidence. We were just about to head... excuse me.
Don't forget
Head
check
to
inside the shop if you need it.
the Jarl. So we certainly can take that sword. And once again, hopefully make some more money. So really, at the start, because Coemgin has come to realize that the best way to survive and to have any chance of prospering in Skyrim, and really all of Tamriel, is with coin or with power. And often the two of those go together. So his goals will be to accumulate wealth and to grow in power, both physically and politically, I guess, influentially.
Once I've made enough money trading with the Khajiit caravans, I'm going to buy the bannered mare from Hulda. Before my ma and Da passed, I told them that one day, I'd become the best trader in Skyrim. I met one of the caravan leaders, Madran. He said he'd help me get started if I could bring him a mammoth's tusk. Easier said than done. You'd do that? If you find one, I could teach you a thing or two about trading. Help you get a fair bargain in the future? Farewell.
So another quest sounds easy enough.
Someone's been pilfering crops from my farm. If I find out it's one of your kin, I'll see.
So we're going to be picking up quite a few quests here at the beginning. There's a lot of small side quests that you can pick up in Whiterun. And these will help with both earning money and also earning experience, since the main way to get experience is through completing quests. Now, as you can see, we have a level up.
There's no telling what it means. I only counsel caution. We cannot afford to act rashly in times like these.
What would you have me do then?
What's the meaning of this interruption? Jarl Balgrup is not receiving visitors.
There's no time for rash action. I just think we need more
Well,
information.
that explains why the guards let you in.
I just...
Come on then. The Jarl will want to
Who is
speak
this,
to you
then?
personally.
So, you were at Helgen. You saw this dragon with your own eyes? By Ysmir, Irileth was right. What do you say now, Proventus? Shall we continue to trust in the strength of our walls against the dragon?
My lord, we should send troops to Riverwood at once. It's in the most immediate danger. If that dragon is lurking in the mountains...
The Jarl of Falkreath will view that as a provocation. He'll assume we're preparing to join Ulfric's side and attack him.
I mean, Falkreath was being pretty provocative, taking over Embershard like hours after I cleared it.
Hold and slaughters my people. Irileth, send a detachment to Riverwood at once.
Yes, my Jarl.
If you'll excuse me, I'll return to my duties.
That would be best. Well done. You sought me out on your own initiative. You've done Whiterun a service. I won't forget it. Here, take this as a small token of my esteem. There is another thing you could do for me. Suitable for someone of your particular talents. Perhaps.
Not exactly the reward we were expecting, but better than nothing.
Court wizard. He's been looking into a matter related to these dragons and rumors of dragons.
Just to open his eyes. Use subtlety and suggestion to turn his thoughts to the war. You're his steward. He'll listen to you.
Leave me out of your intrigues, Hrongar. If you have something to say to the Jarl, say it with your own tongue.
Pretty sure he just heard all of that, but...
Farengar, I think I found someone who can help you with your dragon project. Go ahead and fill him in with all the details.
So the Jarl thinks you can be of use to me. Oh yes, he must be referring to my research into the dragons. Yes, I could use someone to fetch something for me. Well, when I say fetch, I really mean delve into a dangerous ruin in search of an ancient stone tablet that may or may not actually be there.
Sounds like fun.
Ah, no mere brute mercenary, but a thinker. Perhaps even a scholar? You see, when the stories of dragons began to circulate, many dismissed them as mere fantasies, rumors, impossibilities. One sure mark of a fool is to dismiss anything that falls outside his experience as being impossible. But I began to search for information about dragons. Where had they gone all those years ago? And where were they coming from? I learned of a certain stone tablet said to be housed in Bleak Falls Barrow. A dragon stone, said to contain a map of dragon burial sites. Go to Bleak Falls Barrow, find this tablet, no doubt interred in the main chamber, and bring it to me. Simplicity itself.
Well, it's funny you should mention that.
Ah, the dragon stone of Bleak Falls Barrow. You already found it. You are cut from a different cloth than the usual brutes the Jarl foists on. You've got the aptitude. You should join the Mages College in Winterhold.
Well, we might join the Mages College eventually. Certainly something that has piqued the interest of Coemgin. But that's the end of the episode. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.